out on the training pitch and looking to prepare for Wednesday's game, which is a cup tie away to Unionistas de Salamanca in the third round, the last 32 of the Spanish Cup. Real Madrid joining the Spanish Cup now after missing out the first two rounds. The second round was played while Real Madrid were in Saudi Arabia winning the Spanish Super Cup. But now this week and next week there are cup games. If Real Madrid progress, there'll be another game next week in midweek in the final 16, and the week after as well in the final 8. So attention switches a little bit to the Spanish Cup, a competition that Real Madrid would of course love to win as well. But we have to of course discuss Saturday's big 3 points in the Santiago Bernabeu as well. It was the first league game, the first game in fact at home for Real Madrid in 2020 after a busy couple of weeks away at Getafe and in Saudi Arabia of course as well, winning that Spanish Super Cup. Real Madrid took on Sevilla on Saturday afternoon, and they came through it with flying colours, mainly due to that man at the back of the picture there with the scarf around his head, Casemiro, getting two fantastic goals. Earned Real Madrid 3 vital points. It keeps them up level at the top of La Liga with Barcelona, who also won. But more importantly, it opens the gap now to 8 points to Sevilla, who were just behind them in joint third position. Sevilla, and they are now 8 points behind Real Madrid, so it's a real battle at the top now between Real Madrid and Barcelona, who are level on 48 points, and then down in joint third, Sevilla and Atletico Madrid are 8 points now behind the two big clubs. Real Madrid and Barcelona battling away for La Liga, but La Liga is put to one side. They go back again into La Liga action on Sunday, 9 p.m, when Real Madrid take on Valladolid away from home, which will be a difficult task itself. And before then, they go to Salamanca, and well, it's going to be cold at both of those games, both 9 p.m. kickoffs, and both in the autonomous region of Castilla-León, north of Madrid, right in the centre of Spain. Trip up to Salamanca, which is about 2.5 hours north-west of the Spanish capital, up towards Portugal, to play Unionistas on Wednesday, and then a trip on Sunday in the same area to Valladolid. There is Zinedine Zidane, who we will be hearing from in just a few minutes after this training session, round about 1 p.m. local time, in about an hour and a half's time. Zinedine Zidane will be facing questions from the press. Looking forward to that game against Unionistas, also the game against Valladolid. But well, he'll also be asked about, I'm sure, the possibility of signings coming in the transfer window, and he'll be asked about specific questions about individual players as well. And they are welcoming back a number of important players who've been out. Karim Benzema got a few minutes against Sevilla on Saturday. Gareth Bale is back and out training. He was excused again from Sevilla last week because he just hadn't trained enough, but he was training yesterday. I suspect he's in that other group today. I can't see him in this group here, but also him and James Rodriguez are back in full training, and both could be involved on Wednesday in Salamanca. Zinedine Zidane, of course, as always, having to rejig his squad and look at the different options that he has. Well, he's got a Spanish Cup game against a side from the 2nd Division B, Unionistas de Salamanca. It's a club that was only formed in 2013. It's a real big tie for them, the biggest tie in the club's history, of course. For Unionistas, it's going to be in a very small, tight, packed stadium. There's only 4,000 fans allowed into the Pistas del Elemantico in Salamanca. There's been a bit of talk since the draw was made last week about which stadium to play the game in, but they're going to play it in the smaller stadium in Salamanca available. There is a stadium next door that's available as well, but that is now the arch enemy of Unionistas, Salamanca. They didn't want to know anything about playing the game in that stadium. So it's going to be a difficult game on Wednesday, just due to the conditions more than anything. The side in Second Division B are in 16th position at the third level of Spanish football. It's the level that Real Madrid's Castilla side play in. And really, on paper, it should be no problem at all for Real Madrid to come through that 90 minutes. Of course, it's a new format in the Spanish Cup. It's one leg, and the big clubs are tied away from home. That is why, before the draw was made, Real Madrid knew they would have to travel up to, well, travel away from the capital somewhere, and the draw they got was against Unionistas de Salamanca, and that is the side they'll have to overcome, and it will be difficult on a not an ideal surface. And in Salamanca, they've woken up this morning with a covering of snow as well, just to add to the real cup atmosphere. It's pretty cold across Spain. Madrid so far hasn't had any snow, but Salamanca's higher up and colder area of the country, so they have had snow this morning. It could actually put the game in doubt even as well on Wednesday, but they'll do everything they can to get it played. Of course, there's a tight schedule with the next round of the Cup next week. There is Gareth Bale, and there is Luka Jovic as well, who played against Sevilla on Saturday, led the line. And it's interesting to note that Zinedine Zidane has had a lot of different players leading the line, a lot of different options as well to choose from to play in the front positions for Real Madrid this season. Karim Benzema, of course, is coming back. Gareth Bale is coming back. James Rodriguez is also back as well from injury, and could be available as well. But there's also Vinicius and Rodrigo, and well, there's a lot of different options for Zinedine Zidane in attacking positions for Real Madrid. He's actually used 11 different attacking formations, attacking threesomes up front for Madrid this season. The most common one has been with Rodrigo, Eden Hazard and Karim Benzema, who've played together on 5 occasions. But well, there's also, you know, the possibility of playing Vinicius, Jovic and Gareth Bale, for example. Those 3 players are all available and could be called on Wednesday in the Spanish Cup. But of course, Zinedine Zidane will have one eye on Sunday night in Valladolid, a bigger, more important game on paper, you have to say, as Real Madrid look to continue at the top of the La Liga table. The game's coming thick and fast, and with the Spanish Cup as well, it's a chance for Zidane to share out the minutes for these players to rest some. Mariano there in the picture as well could be considered, of course, in an attacking position. Lucas Vázquez, who started against Sevilla as well. So lots of different options for Real Madrid and for Zinedine Zidane with these 2 games coming up, away games in Castilla, Leon in the north of Madrid. Again, if they win, there will be a cup game midweek next week as well, before on the 1st of February, Real Madrid will host a Madrid derby against Atletico Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu. So lots for these players to get prepared for and to think about. Of course, further down the line, there's a Champions League tie coming next month against, starting next month against Manchester City in the Santiago Bernabeu. That's a little bit further down the line, and there's games to be played between now and then. Zinedine Zidane, as always, will talk about taking it a game at a time. And that game that he'll want to talk about in his press conference is the game against Unionistas de Salamanca on Wednesday evening. The team that's, as I said, are in 16th position in the second Division B. The second Division B is the third level of Spanish football, but it's also split into 4 groups and regionalised. Unionistas were in the same group as Real Madrid Castilla, the Real Madrid reserve side, last season, but they're now in a different area. They play their games in the north of Spain, going up to the Basque country. And they won at the weekend, 1-0 against Baracaldo, after a 0-0 draw in the game before against Real Sociedad B team. So that just gives you an idea of the level of football that Unionistas are playing at. They're playing against the reserve sides of the La Liga sides. So it's a massive game for them. For Real Madrid, it's, well, a potential banana skin on what could be a difficult pitch under difficult conditions. And for that reason, Zinedine Zidane will have to put out a competitive side. And he's always confident that he can rely on these players. And it'll be certainly a competitive side that goes out with the aim of winning in Salamanca, keeping going that 17-match unbeaten run that Real Madrid are on. They haven't lost since Mallorca in La Liga back in October. And they lost 1-0, so that is important as well. So lots of things to think about. It's going to be a very interesting atmosphere on Wednesday in Salamanca in the Pistas del Atlántico. 4,000 fans could fit in there. There is an athletics track around the side. It isn't really even a football stadium. There's even talk about the hot water in the showers only lasting 20 minutes. So these players have got to be quick off the pitch to get showered at the end on what will be a cold evening. But, well, that's the romance of the Cup. And Real Madrid are looking forward to that, which is Wednesday evening, 9 p.m. Follow all the preview and post-match with us. Until then, it's adios for now from me.